Namaskar. Sri Aurobindo had remarked to one of his disciples that any attempt to write about his life is bound to fail, as it has not been lived on the surface for men to see. And yet, his polymath genius and the sheer work he did in his lifespan of 78 years has attracted many people to him, like bees hovering around the most rare and beautiful flower, who simply wish to take a bit of its nectar, not because it contains only a little bit, but because they can take only a little of what it has to offer. The patriots acknowledge the role he played during the nascent stages of India's freedom struggle, when no mainstream leader was even imagining the possibility of complete independence from the British. Sri Aurobindo, as a young man who had just returned to his motherland after staying in England for 14 years, but not hypnotized by their culture, had the courage and conviction to demand complete independence. His fiery articles and strong support for every revolutionary freedom fighter made him a revered figure, especially in the minds of the youth. His ideas and mere presence unnerved the British, and for many years he was seen as a dangerous enemy of the crown. In his next avatar, as a mystic and a yogi, he continues to evoke the awe and devotion of spiritual seekers for the intellectual wealth and experiential wisdom packed in works like the Life Divine, while millions today meditate upon his magnum opus, Savitri, with a wish to experience just a little of the bliss that he embodied in his being. Auro to his father, Aurobindo to his fellow freedom fighters, master to his disciples and devotees, the real Sri Aurobindo is a mystery that will continue to attract and puzzle spiritually hungry souls from all over the world. As a spiritual master, he worked for nothing less than lasting peace and human unity on earth. Sri Aurobindo's presence continues today in the form of hundreds of centers spread all over the world, where people across divisions of age, race, caste, creed and gender live with an aspiration of uniting with the divine and the joy of manifesting that perfection to the extent possible. Sri Aurobindo Ashram, Delhi branch, the only other place which the mother blessed as an ashram, other than the ashram at Pondicherry, came into being on the 12th of February 1956 with a similar aspiration. Starting with establishing a mainstream school called the Mothers International School, but different from the other mainstream schools for inculcating in the students a curiosity for spiritual seeking, We also were the pioneers in free progress education, which is based on the principles of integral education and the Sri Aurobindo International Center of Education at Pondicherry. Apart from this, we run a boarding school for the tribal children in one of the most isolated places in India called Kechla in the state of Odisha. It is again a unique experiment along the lines of the free progress system of education and caters to about 190 children, providing them with free education, board and lodging, and sponsors the older children for higher education. We also have 2 centers in the Himalayas where we offer space for people to take spiritual retreats, study retreats, as well as youth camps for schools. All these activities have a spiritual base with yoga in the morning, meditation in the evening, and self-observation sessions. All our centers are always open to volunteers from all over the world who may wish to offer their services while staying in the ashram. As someone who grew up under the mother's care and love, it is deeply satisfying for me to see that their work has spread all over the world. With this center, Sri Aurobindo Mer, being one such inspiring example. This Italian center has grown beautifully over the last 36 years since its inception in 1986. It is a world in itself, with its own farm where they grow their food, besides teaching yoga to the young and the old. With the relics having been installed at the center in 1992, I'm sure the place must have even a greater power now to effect positive changes in the community of seekers. I thank everyone present here for being a part of celebrating 150 years of Sri Aurobindo, and offer my best wishes and love to each and every one of the seekers present here at the Italian Center. May we all continue to inspire each other on our beautiful journey to the divine. Namaskar.